Mm, mm. Hi, and welcome to this crochet tutorial where I'm going to show you how to create the little elephant keychain. This pattern will also be good for a plushie if you choose to use blanket yarn or a larger yarn than the worsted weight that I'm going to use in making with this video. He has a little tail. He has a trunk and a cute little mouth. This pattern is low sew because the only thing we're going to sew on is the ears. So come join me if you would like to learn how to make this little elephant keychain, or remember you can make it as a plushie in this tutorial. So come join me. Join me, join me. The materials and the tools that we're going to use to make our little elephant keychain. Here we just have a small amount of red that will be used for his mouth. A pair of scissors. We have the ball chain. You can find this on Amazon or in AliExpress, but they do sell it in large quantities with multiple colors. And separately you can find the plastic hook, sold the same way on the same sites. We have a tapestry needle, a stitch marker, and here we have safety eyes. These are 10mm. You can also purchase those on either AliExpress or Amazon. The hook that I'm going to use is a 4.5mm crochet hook, and we're using worsted weight yarn, but what we're going to do is we're going to join the two together so that we have a more firmer keychain for use so that it doesn't collapse so easily. If you choose to use blanket yarn and I'm going to give you an example of size of blanket yarn. Blanket yarn is a larger size. If you choose to use blanket yarn, you can use 16mm eyes and a 7mm crochet hook. So what I do is I will take the center pull of the skein and the outside, and I will join the two together and put it into a ball. Now this is a scrap saver pattern, so you really won't need a lot. I have made a larger ball with the whole skein because I have made many, and I think once you make this little guy, I think you'll be making many too. So that's how we create the ball. So in order to start using the ball, let's go ahead and pull out an ample amount so that we can maintain our tension as we crochet. So to begin, let's start with a short tail, and we're going to start with a magic circle. I like to place it between my finger and thumb, wrap it around till you have an X on the back side. Let's go under the first loop, over the second, pull it through, and then twist it. Then take the yarn that's back here and pull it under your hook and through that twisted loop, kind of like doing a chain stitch. You notice that it secures it as we've created this ring. Pull the tail out so that it's not twisted around the ring. Let's snug this up just a little bit. Now if you're using the blanket yarn, you don't want to snug it up too tight because it will cause it to break when we pull it tight. So we're going to start off with 8 single crochets. So to make a single crochet, place your finger on the loop on your hook, go into the center, draw back and pull up a loop, and yarn over and through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Continue till you have 8 single crochets on your magic circle. So after we have the 8 single crochets, let's take our finger and thumb, the one we hold our hook in, and pull on this short tail till it forms a circle. See how it pulls? And we're forming a circle. Now if you're using the plush, the blanket yarn, or a heavier yarn than the worsted weight, be careful right here. Don't pull it too tight. We will reinforce this in just a minute. Okay, so after we've pulled it, let's tighten the stitch, the last stitch that we have made. And to make sure that we get the 8th single crochet, we're going to count backwards here. These top V's are the top of the stitch, so we're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go ahead and place our hook into the top of that 8th stitch. Now know that it will be a little tight because we did pull it closed. Pull up a loop, snug it up just a bit so we maintain proper tension, and complete that single crochet. And after you've done that single crochet, we're going to mark the beginning of our rows. So here's our first one. In our second one, we're going to place 2 single crochets. This is also known as an increase. So in this particular row, we're going to have a repeat. 1 single crochet and increase. So of 2 stitches from the previous row, such as here, we have 1 and 2, we're going to do 1 single crochet and the increase. Remember, the increase is 2 single crochets. We're going to repeat this 2 more times because we have these 2 and these 2. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. Please pause your video and complete the rest of this row. After this row is completed, let's enlarge our loop and remove our hook. We're going to turn it upside down. Let's get out our tapestry needle. We're going to reinforce our magic circle and make it so that the tail does not come loose and those stitches come open again. So here's where we came out. So let's go under a few of these stitches right here. And pull it through. Okay, and let's go ahead and place a knot. So we'll go on to the next stitch, make a little loop, and bring your needle through the loop that you just created and pull it tight. Let's do it one more time. This will help lock this magic circle from coming undone. Okay, now that we have a knot on the end, we can cut the yarn to about 1 inch from the end. Okay, so that'll secure that magic circle. Okay, and let's get ready to start our next row. Our next row, we will do an increase in stitching. So we're going to do 1 single crochet to start off our row. Always remember to replace your stitch marker. Our second stitch will be 1 single crochet, and our third stitch will be the increase, 2 single crochets. Okay, so over 3 stitches we have 1 single crochet, whoops, back here, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and increase 2 single crochets. So over the next 3 stitches here, we're going to repeat what we just did here. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and increase. Repeat this pattern 2 more times to complete this row. 1, 1, increase, 1, 1, increase. Please pause your video. Our next row will have a very short repeat. 1 single crochet and increase. Okay, 1 single crochet, increase. So this is our repeat over 2 stitches, single crochet, increase. We're going to do this a total of 8 times. When you're done, count your stitches to make sure that you have 24 stitches around. Now, to count these stitches, let me show you how. You come right back and you see the little V on the top? That little V is designating the top of the single crochet. So we have so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This loop doesn't count because it's not a completed stitch. So our repeat for this row consists of 2 stitches, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. All right, continue with the repeat till we get to the end. A little secret, the last stitch will be an increase. So let's double check to make sure that we have 24 single crochet completed for this row. So here at the top we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 is on our stitch marker. Let's move on to our next row. This next row is just going to be straight single crochet, no increases, no anything else, just straight single crochet. So let's do our first stitch and replace our stitch marker. And just do 24 single crochets around. Now, once you get to the end of this row, you're going to want to do a second row. So we're going to do 2 rows of 24 single crochets around. I have taken the right side of my stitches and flipped them out so that we will have the right side showing from now on. Our next row, we're going to start adding our trunk. So let's start off with 1 single crochet, and continue with 11 more for a total of 12 single crochets. After the 12, let's start our nose, chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We do not count the loop on the hook. The first one is complete, so this is number 1. We're going to skip number 1, and in the second one we're going to pick up and make a slip stitch. To do a slip stitch, we went through our chain. We're going to pull a loop through and then take that loop and continue it through the one that was on the hook. Let's do a second one. Slip stitch. The next stitch will be our single crochet, so we're picking up a part of the chain. Draw up a loop. Whoops, I missed some of the chain. Okay, let's draw up a loop and single crochet. Single crochet into the next one. We have 2 chains left. In these 2 chains we're going to do a half double crochet. To do a half double crochet, place your finger on the loop on your hook, yarn over, and go through that chain on your chain here. Always in front of the camera, never wants to cooperate. Okay, so we draw up a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook, so we're going to go through all 3 of those loops. And we have 1 left right here. Yarn over, draw up a loop, and yarn over through all 3. So this is our trunk. Our last stitch is right here. So we're going to go into the next one and start off with a single crochet. Snug it up a little bit. Over the next 11 stitches, we're going to place 1 single crochet per stitch. Continue till you get to your stitch marker. We got our elephant trunk hanging out. He'll get more shape within our next row. Technically, we're going to be doing the next 2 rows of just single crochet, 24 single crochets around. But let's get up to the elephant's trunk. So here we have 1, do 11 more for a total of 12 up to the trunk, and I'm going to show you how to get past the trunk. So here's number 2 for me. Continue until you get 12. I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. As you can see, the 12th single crochet, here's the 12th from the previous row. We're going to bring our nose forward towards us, and as we pull it over, you see the tiny little hole and our first single crochet right here. We want to insert our hook into that top portion of that single crochet. If your loop here has enlarged, shorten it down. Draw a loop through and pull it through. Snug it up, and that'll help close the hole right here. It'll also allow the trunk here to curl just a little bit, and it'll allow it later on to maintain the curve. So we're going to finish this row with 1 single crochet to the stitch marker, then go around again with 24 single crochets, and this will finalize the 2 rows of 24 single crochets that we need. Please pause your video. It will take just a few minutes. That went pretty quickly, didn't it? I think you're going to find that all in all, if you take note of how this is done, it's like a 30-minute project, but because of tutorial, it will take a little bit longer. This row, we're going to add 4 feet. So let's start off with our single crochet and replacing our stitch marker. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Since we have 24 stitches on this row, you're going to find that after we place our foot in, we're going to do 5 single crochets a foot, 5 single crochets a foot, and so on around until we come over here where we put our last foot in, and we'll do 2 single crochets. So there will be 5 single crochets in between each foot. Keep it simple, right? Okay, so our next stitch will be the bobble stitch. And the bobble stitch consists of half done double crochets and kind of brings it together like a cluster stitch. So to do that, place our finger on our loop and yarn over. You can place your finger on that loop too. Now each one of these stitches that we're going to make is going to stay in the same hole throughout. Okay, it will get a little tight, but you can do it. So let's draw up a loop, yarn over, and just go through 2 loops. Okay, so we have 2. We're going to end up with a total of 5, but this is how the process is done. Okay, so let's yarn over, go ahead and place our finger on top of that loop and into that same hole. Okay, we drew up a loop, yarn over just through 2. So now we have 3. Okay, we're going to do this 2 more times. So yarn over, pull up a loop through 2, yarn over, this is the last one, pull up a loop, kind of stretch it if you have to, through 2 loops. Okay, now for our grouping we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're wondering, how am I going to get my hook through all those loops? Well, there is a secret, and I'm going to tell you. So yarn over, take your hook and aim it down, and then grab your stitches with your other fingers here, pull up this direction, and bring the hook through, and it'll go through all of those stitches with no problem. Okay. This is where our bobble stitch was made. We want a single crochet. My tongue twisting today. So we want a single crochet into the next stitch. So you can bring it forward, or if it goes back, it doesn't really matter because we're still going to push it forward. So insert the hook into the next stitch, drop a loop, snug it up if you can, and through those 2 on the loop. Okay, let's go on to the next one, and a second single crochet. We're going to stop right there for just a second and take the bobble that we just made and push it through with our finger. If you find it's kind of hard, take the end of your crochet hook and push it out. Okay, and that'll give us a nice little hump. Alright, so we've done 2 single crochets. Let's do 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're a few stitches off from our trunk. So right here gets our second bobble stitch. We have 1 bobble, 2 bobble. Remember, we have a total of 4 this row. So yarn over into that stitch, drop a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over into the same stitch, drop a loop, yarn over through 2 on the hook. Okay, so yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over through 2. We got 4. One more time. And please don't let this discourage you. This is something we're supposed to have fun with. Okay? And remember, even I had to start somewhere. So, we have our 5 loops on our hook. So yarn over, pinch those stitches, push up on the hook and bring it through. Whoops, I even lost some here. There we go. I saved it. Okay, and into our next stitch. Now I'm going to show you a different way. You can pinch it this way and insert your hook into that next stitch. Drop a loop, snug it up, and then finish off that single crochet. And it'll pop out just nicely too. Okay, so we have 1. We want to do a total of 5. 2, 3, whoops, 4, and 5. Okay, bobble stitch, 5 bobble stitch, and I will meet you to finish the row. I know you can do this. So I've completed the last bobble, and I have 2 single crochet stitches left. So let's go ahead and do those 2. Now that the hard part is over. Okay, so we've completed this row. Let's enlarge the loop on our hook. We're going to take care of a few things before we finish the bottom and stuff our little elephant. But first we're going to add a mouth and add some eyes. So let's get our yarn for the mouth and our eyes ready so we can install them. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take just a short piece of yarn, maybe about 6-8 inches. We're going to fold it in half, and down here where our fold is, I'd like for you to take and place an overhand knot and bring the knot down till it's about, a 1/4 inch or almost 1/8 of an inch. In other words, just a small little knot down here. Okay, so that we have this tiny little loop. All right. Now you can use either your tapestry needle or your crochet hook. I'm going to use my tapestry needle. Place one end onto the needle, and underneath our mouth we want to go in one side of the mouth. We do not want these to go in at the same point, because what we're going to do on the inside is tie it off with a square knot. Okay, so where this one went in, come across to the next stitch. We don't want to go in there. Let's go into the next stitch. Let's see. Of course, it's on camera. My camera is right in front of my face, and it's kind of hard to see. So what I did is I went through some other stitches, and I pulled that other piece through. Okay, so we're going to take this and bring it up so that the knot is right there at the end. And then on the inside, let's just tie a nice tight square knot. We don't want his tongue falling out when he I added the tongue because I thought it would give a little bit of color to our elephant. He seemed kind of gray. All right, so next thing we're going to do, oh, see how his little tongue sticks out? Yes, I am kind of humorous. All right, so next we want to go above the feet. Let's bring our nose down. And let's see, what did I do on my other one? Okay, so on my other one, here's the nose. I went up 1, 2, and the row above. Okay, now eyes give personalities to a character, so you can put them over here, you can put them up here, you can put them right here, wherever you choose to put. But for this one, I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. I think, was it here? Yeah, that looks kind of cute. And then I'm going to stay on the same row and go over. Okay, does that look balanced? Yeah, looks balanced to me. Okay. And then we're going to put our little safety mechanism on here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So those are locked in place. All right, you ready to move on to the bottom? So we're going to do 2 rows on the bottom, and then we'll be able to stuff it. So to start the bottom, we're going to do a repeat of single crochet and decrease. So let's single crochet, replace our stitch marker. Before I move on, you see how I always am pulling on the yarn and jiggling my hook? That's to help adjust the tension to make sure that the stitch is at the right height and at the right thickness that I desire for making this. You'll also notice that when I doubled the worsted weight yarn with the 4.5 hook, there's less chance of gap. Okay, it makes the worsted weight a little thicker. Now, I know this is kind of late in the video, but if you were doing just one strand, you would use like a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. This would make this, when it's done, probably about 1 inch tall. It would be really small. So, moving on, the next stitch is a decrease. So for this repeat, it actually covers 3 stitches and reduces it down to 2. So we did our single crochet. So the next stitch is the invisible decrease, but we just call it a decrease for amigurumi. But you'll notice that in our stitching we have our back loop and our front loop. The front loop is picked up in the first stitch and in the second stitch. And what we're doing is we're combining these together to create one single crochet when it's done, like so. So we've joined this stitch, and now we just have one stitch. And then finish off our single crochet. And now here we are at our feet. You'll notice that we have a long one and a short one over here. The long one, you just place one single crochet in there. If you get to the point where there's a decrease, you just pick up the front loop of the long stitch, and it'll still do what it's supposed to do. So right here, we want to decrease. So we pick up the first one and the second one, and drop a loop, and then pull it through. So we've done 2 repeats so far. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease. Okay, so here we are onto our third single crochet, and over the next 2 stitches our decrease. Front loops only, 1 and 2. All right, continue on. You're going to make 5 more decreases. Doesn't look like it, but yeah, you will, because 2 stitches combining to 1 does take up some more stitching. So we have 1 decrease, 1 decrease. So continue that, and I'll meet you at the stitch marker again. So you see how our hole is getting smaller? All right, so do you remember at the beginning we did 1 increase and then 2 increase? Well, this row we're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease. So let's place our first one in, which is right here. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then decrease. This hole will get even smaller. Okay? We're going to do this repeat a total of 4 times. So let me show you one more time. Okay? 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and decrease. Front loops only. Okay? The hole is going to get smaller, and that's okay. There'll still be enough room for you to stuff it. So do 1, 1, decrease, 1, 1, decrease. You notice how I left you on alone a lot? Because I know you can do this. Okay, do that, and I'll meet you at the stitch marker again, where we will do just a few more stitches to make the hole just a little bit smaller. And you're wondering, how much smaller is this hole going to get? Have no fear. It's okay. Okay, we're going to do the repeat one more time. Yes, one more time. Let's see. So we want to do single crochet, single crochet, decrease, okay, now 1 single crochet. We're going to draw these stitches down, 1 slip stitch. So drop a loop and take that loop through the loop on your hook. Okay, let's cut about a 10-inch tail. This will be for weaving it closed. And then pull that tail through that loop, keep it from unraveling. Alright, so let's go ahead and stuff our little elephant, and then we can close off the bottom of the body. So please gather up your stuffing, and then let's get stuffing. Now you're wondering how this stuffing is going to fit into this tiny hole. You can place your finger in it, like I can. You can place the stuffing in it. Okay, so just take it, start stuffing it either with a finger or a thumb. See, it does go in, and it's not too tight. Alright, now even though I did put a good amount in, it's still too soft and squishy. We want to add more till it's firm. So however many gathers up in bunches that you need, let's keep stuffing it until our little elephant is firmly stuffed. Yeah, still too soft. No, I'm not going to add all of that, but it does take a few bunches to stuff it up. So you keep doing yours, and I'm going to do mine, and I'll show you what I got in just a second. So please pause your video. Okay, so my little elephant is nice and firm, but we also want to make it so that it's not bulging out of the center bottom. Okay, so let's get our tapestry needle. And we're going to do the front loops only. We're going to do like a weaving stitch, like so. And as you pull it through, make sure it doesn't get caught up on the feet. So we're going to weave in and out just the front loops. And take note of where it started, which was right here. Okay. Now, once we have it all the way around, now if you're using the plushie yarn, be careful not to pull it too tight, but we will reinforce this hole. So just pull it so that it's snug with the plushie yarn. Okay. And then you see the little diamond pattern that we have here? Let's go underneath it. We're going to go around it again. Now if you have the plushie yarn, you can go ahead and snug it up just a little bit tighter, and that'll help it so that it'll sit flat. Okay, you see how flat it looks? How in the world did she do that? It's all depending on how you stuff it. So we didn't want a big bulge here. We wanted the bulk down here. So let's go ahead and draw up a loop somewhere here. There we go. It was like saying, no, no, don't do that to me. So we have a loop. Let's take our needle and go through that loop. Oops, keep hitting my camera. Remember, I'm using a GoPro, so it's like 6 inches from my job here. Okay, now we're going to go back in. Now, do not pull it through and cut it. We're going to pull it through, but what I like to do is to help reinforce it to make sure that the stitching doesn't come out over here sometime. We're going to go through the center of about 4 stitches. You see how we pulled it right through? It will be a little snug, but that's okay. On your plushie yarn, it won't be this snug, but it'll be snug. Okay? And this will keep it from coming out later on in the future. Snip it, and we have a little tongue with our elephant. And next, we're going to do the ears. And then, oops, but we can do the tail first. So let's go ahead and add the tail, since we still have yarn on our tail. So find the center, come back here, go down a few rows, and just go under a single crochet. Try not to drag the stuffing with it, but it looks like in my case it wants to come no matter what. There we go. Or, let's see, we can make it more centered. Okay, so it's centered right here. Just pull those 2 through and kind of even them out. It helps a little bit. Then let's place an overhand knot. And we're going to bring it close, but not so close that it sits on the body, just close enough. You know, because elephants do have little tails. And here's his little tail. Okay, so let's go ahead and start making his ears. I'm going to show you how to do one, which I think will be an easy one to remember, but also you can go back into the video and make the second ear as well. So let's start with a 6 or 8 inch tail. Come up here and place a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to begin with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip the first chain, and in the second chain, single crochet. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't want me to work with it. In the second chain, a single crochet. And this is where our ear has a magic look. Let's chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. this is where the bulk of our ear is going to go. We're going to create a loop, so it's going to fit inside this loop. But to create that loop, see this line right here and this line right here? We're going to do what is called a picot, a chain 4 picot, but we're just going to do it this way, pull it through, and slip stitch. So right through that loop, you see how we have the chain 4 loop right here. Okay, we have one chain left from where we started over here with the tail. We're going to place a single crochet in that last loop. Okay, so when you're done, it should look like this. Okay, so we chained 4, skipped 1, single crochet, chain 4, and then picot, and then back down here on this chain, 1 single crochet. Now let's chain 2, and then turn the work so that the chain 4 is away from your crocheting hand. So if you're left-handed like this, it's away, okay? But since we're right-handed, it's aiming towards our left hand. So we're going to go back into that single crochet stitch right here. We're going to do a half double crochet. Okay, we did a half double crochet earlier. Okay, and this time we're going to do a double crochet. It's going to go into the same stitch as the half double crochet. So to do a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, and this time we're going to complete it, so yarn over through 2 more. Okay, so now here's our chain 4. You want to pull it open so that you can find the center. See the center right in there? Onto this chain 4, we're going to do 5 double crochets. So yarn over and into the center of that loop, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And if you have to, grab the chain 4 and slide that stitch down. It does get a little tight on there with all these stitches. So yarn over. This is number 2. Remember, we're doing a total of 5 double crochets. So we did 2. Here's number 3. Here's number 4. And one more for number 5. And we're not done yet with this chain 4. Okay, let's see. There we go. We're going to add a half double crochet to the other side of this. So we got yarn over, we got 3 loops on our hook through all 3 loops. We still have our single crochet left, so into the top of the single crochet of the previous row, 1 single crochet. And to finalize it, we're going to do a slip stitch into that same stitch. So drop a loop and continue that loop through. And see how it gives it a nice finish? You'll notice that our stitching will be from here to this. This will hang over. You know, your elephants have that little loop hanging down. Okay, so let's leave about a 6 or 8 inch tail. This is what we will use to sew on our elephant ear to the elephant body. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to encourage you to make a second one If you need to use the video again, please go back a couple of minutes and we will do it that way. So make a second one and then we will sew it on to our elephant. I hope the second time around was easy for you to create and that there wasn't any misunderstanding on the instruction given. Okay? You will have a little tiny hole in the middle. That's okay. That's what I would like for you to do. Okay? So, even though they are the same, we're going to flip one over. So you'll have the right side facing you on one and the wrong side facing you on another. So let's take the longest yarn that you cut 6 to 8 inches with. Or if you did like me, did 10 inches. We're going to come over here and we're going to decide where we would like to have our ear. We would like to have it so that it's about 3 stitches over from the eye, or maybe even 4. But wherever you started at, you want it to be the same row on the other side as well. So you can take your ear. Let's see, I come over 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to come over to the 4th one. And I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to drop a loop. Now remember, each one of these is going to look a little different. Some may be higher, some may be lower. It's whatever personality you want to give yours. Okay, so I drew through it twice. I'm going to come down to the next stitch and I'm going to draw through it twice as well. 1 and 2, and then I'm going to come down to the last single crochet. This is where we began at. I'm going to pick up and go 1 and 2. All right. Then we can pull it out and see if we like it there. Looks cute to me. Okay, so let's finish off. We're going to take the needle and go into the last hole and come over here. Then we're going to take the original starting tail and we're going to go through the same hole here or down here and come out the same hole up here. And what we're going to do is, after we sew the second ear on, we're going to tie a square knot right here, cut the yarn, and bury it inside the body. And that'll make it so that it's finished. So let me get my second ear on. We're going to start with the upper yarn here. And remember, it's going to be facing a different direction. So let's see. We started on this row here, so I'm going to start on that row too. And make sure I have it over. 1, 2, 3. Okay, looks like I need to go over one more. Okay, let's double check to make sure it's in the right space. Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and sew mine down, and then I'm going to bring the yarns and have them come out at the same hole. I'm going to go ahead and meet you there so that you can see how I finish mine. So go ahead and sew your other ear on like I'm going to do right now. Okay, so you notice that, yeah, I pulled one over with the other one, didn't I? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But you want to divide it in half. Okay, yeah, you can tell that these are from here and there. Okay, so now we want to place a square knot. Okay, and go ahead and snug them up. Okay, and then let's cut these to about 1 inch. We're going to take our hook, come over here, we're going to go in between some stitches, and we're going to come out that same hole that we made that knot in, and that the other yarns came out. Wrap it around the hook. Now remember, I'm in front of the camera, so I needed it to be closer to me, but I think you can get it. Now just pull it all in through that same stitch hole, and it will close back up. See how it disappeared? Now work all that off of your hook. And here we have our little elephant. Let's finally finish it with the keychain. Now if you did the plushie, I know you're in love with it, right? I think it is so cute. Okay, so here up at the top, we have our circle. So we're going to come over here. And remember, you want to go in between stitches. Just like so. Now, I've done this many, many, many times. Sometimes it goes through with no problem, and sometimes it's like pulling teeth. So take the clasp and place it on your hook. It does fit. It really does. Okay, and place it on your hook, and then twist it. Twist it as you go through. And look at that. It came through. Woohoo! Now I happen to pull a little bit of yarn. Must have been the magic circle yarn. So I'm going to stuff that back in there. Okay. And here we have our little lanyard with the hole on the bottom. Now we want the opening to be facing back. So when we put this on here, we're going to go through it this way. Like so. What do you think? And we can adjust it so it doesn't have a chance to unhook itself. Okay, you like that? I think he's cute. I'm impressed. And I came up with it while I was at work. Can you believe it? Alrighty. So here I thought I'd show you my little army of elephants here. Of course, the last two here aren't done, like these guys are. See how happy they are? Look at me, you can see my tongue, woohoo! Yeah, I know. So, I hope you had fun creating this elephant keychain slash plushie. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you share it with me. My name is Garnet, and this is my YouTube channel, Garnet is a Jewel. I hope you subscribe to it. I have some many videos, from cooking, home repair, install a gate, fix your vacuum, you name it, I got it, right? Life is meant to be lived. Let's go out and live it. So if you enjoy doing crochet plushies or anything crochet, give me an idea of something that you would like to do. But I'm going to be continuing on for right now with the keychain. I have a walrus that I'm coming up with next. I've already done a Dalmatian, a bunny, and an axolotl. So, till next time. Bye-bye, and thanks for being with me today.